What's up, everyone? Today, well, actually, almost this whole week, I am in Lake Titicaca, actually on the Bolivian side, on Isla del Sol. It's really beautiful out here, and yeah, I've been having a hell of a time though. I guess I got to this beautiful place. I'll show you guys around a little bit. I connected with this guy. There's this little hut, and other than that hut, there's nothing. There's the lake. When it's clear out, you can see the huge mountains on the other side. But I basically have this whole little valley to myself. I also don't have a kitchen or a bathroom. But it's pretty special, and the opportunity to slow down here, I think has just allowed more healing work to come up. It's been pretty rough, honestly. As much as this place is beautiful, I've been having a hard time just clearing tons of childhood trauma, and the amount of energy that's took actually made me sick. So, or maybe the sick is a manifestation of energy clearing. I know sometimes it can work like that. But in either case, I've been just like feverish and blowing my nose and just hanging in there, walking into town. It's like a 30-minute hike into town once a day to get food and stuff. Barely able to do that with how wiped out I've been. So yeah. I guess one interesting and beautiful thing about it though is being stripped of distractions. There's no electricity, there's no internet. So normally when I'm feeling this wiped out, I would probably watch YouTube videos or whatever, text people or do whatever on my phone. But out here it's no, you just gotta be with whatever you're feeling. And I've noticed a lot of loneliness and a lot of sadness and a lot of other unpleasant feelings that I've, I guess, been probably ignoring by just staying busy, just staying on my phone or planning trip logistics or whatever it is. So it's been eye-opening to see that, and I definitely do for real miss home. I'm so done with traveling. I'm so ready to be home by now. So I got about another week, bit more than a week more. But yeah, I think there's a gift in the stripping of distractions, even though it's not fun. I actually am reading a book, a real book, which I brought and haven't really read until now, because the phone is always so much a quicker thing to grab to fill your attention. So yeah, that's been cool. And yeah, a lot of time, I think a big mission that I'm encountering here, or a big intention, is realizing that finding the ability to be content on my own. And I've done plenty of solo camping trips, it's nothing new, but something about the amount of stuff that's coming up right now is really just wow, it's time to, it's bringing awareness in a different level of how I'm always thinking about how I wish oh, it would be cool if I had a partner or whatever, and or whatever, and that mental attention into that energy always pulling me away from just being content right here. And a lot of that comes down to just feeling safe. And maybe I feel a little less safe here than I would if I was car camping in the United States, because I don't have all the usual resources I have at hand. So anyways, yeah, it's deep stuff. I guess so I did have a little meditative insight, which was really cool. I was sitting out on these rocks, overlooking the water. If you go around, there's just really beautiful pure white boulders along the waterfront that you can sit on, and they have all sorts of nice butt-shaped boulder divots to sit on and stuff. And I was staring at the waves and the sun interacting with the waves and the water, and I just kind of zoned out and was meditating on that, and had this like deep insight of how everything, literally everything, is a wave interference pattern. And like, yeah, I mean, I know it's kind of heady. I know we talk, like quantum or atomic physics, with the electrons, and how everything, all physical matter is just interfering wave pattern of electrons and stuff, or whatever, and energy. But it really is, you think about light, sound, water, physical matter, emotions, energy. Doesn't matter how complex it is. See, like what happened when I was looking at the waves was like, it looked like this really complex, indecipherable mess of just different waves all kind of doing their own thing. And then I stared at it and I almost looked like through it, and suddenly this seemingly indecipherable wave pattern broke down, and I was like suddenly separating it into 2 or 3 different wave patterns that were actually very simple and linear, that were colliding with each other and interacting, and I could see them separately. And what use is that to anything in like modern day use? I don't know. I guess like for me it felt really fascinating to integrate something that's like scientifically understood in a way that felt tangible to me, and I think is important to understand, maybe for getting deeper into like doing energy healing work, and anyone who's like gonna intuitively interact with nature and life. I think it's like maybe a good thing to integrate. So I'm really curious to see if more of that starts to like come together in my, it's almost like it's something beyond the mind, it's like you can understand it with the mind, but to get it in a space where you understand it beyond the mind is where it's kind of starts to really be impactful and meaningful. So yeah, I guess that's all I got. I guess I'll just say a shout out for Juan, whose property this is, and I'll ask his permission, but maybe I'll put his number in the video description below, because I'm sure he'd appreciate the business. I think he only rents this space out by word of mouth. I was lucky enough to meet someone who had also lived here, and so it was word of mouth, so maybe if you're traveling to Lake Titicaca, come to the north side of Isla del Sol. It's a lot more peaceful and quiet out here, and really beautiful, so I would definitely recommend it. And the other thing I would just say about what I've noticed about the people here is like, people are just so nice here. Everyone just has this sweet glow, and I think it's something about that slower paced life, that simpler life, that is more connected and more land-based, and man, you can just see it in the way that people are here. Yeah, like almost every day someone has some local has come out with his rowboat and just sat on this beach here to watch the mountains at the end of the day, and it's just like, that's cool. Like, people are slowing down and taking it in, and it's easy to, like, if you're from a place, to start to take it for granted. I know I started to take Oregon for granted, and I'm sure I'll be enchanted by the beauty when I get back home, because it'll be like new again in a way. So it's a good reminder to stay connected and open to seeing the beauty. All right, guys, talk to you next time.